YBTV. I'm Sarah Marshall.
And I'm Libby Zimmerman. Sarah, how are you doing tonight?
Well, to put it frankly, Libby, I'm hungry. How are you?
You know, I'm hungry as well. I had some white cheddar mac and cheese earlier, and it was banging. But I have no more white cheddar mac and cheese, so I'm still hungry.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, we have a lot of events to catch up on, so let's get right into the night. Last week, the Career and Professional Development Center hosted their Campus Days event outside of the Falcon in the Eisenhower Commons. Speak with Messiah students and provide an opportunity for students to work with them. Provide students with an opportunity to work with them for upcoming summer season. Students will be able to browse the wide selection of camps, speak with representatives, and even pick some of the free swag along the way. We sat down with a few students to see what they think of this event. To keep up to
What
date,
I found really interesting about this and what I thought was really necessary is just overall spreading the gospel in our youth through kids up to 18 is really important, and this is a really good outreach into all areas of development at all these lovely camps, and it gave me ideas of what I can do over the summer to continue spreading Christian beliefs.
I think this event will help out with students just because I think people are looking for an opportunity to kind of serve their community in new and different ways that isn't strictly, fitting to the conventional idea of what ministry is or looks like. And so I think for a lot of people, being outdoors and being in community is a great opportunity to kind of connect and help other people enjoy life and just have some time with each other and enjoy the summer.
It's very important because it allows students to explore, it allows students to connect with others, networking. It also allows students to be able to have opportunities where they can apply for leadership positions, to be able to have other experiences, and that way that they can be able to have new ways to share the love of God in different areas, not only in their community at home, but also in different locations.
to keep up to date on all the amazing opportunities offered by the CPDC, check out their upcoming events calendar on messiah.edu/career.
SAB hosted their monthly jukebox night in the Union this past Wednesday. Students gathered for a midweek study session with music created by the campus community that brought out all tastes of, kinds, cookies, and lemonade, and were also provided for fellowship with students.
When there isn't a theme, there tends to be a bigger draw because it's more broad. People can write down their favorite songs or a song that they've been listening to. However, I like to choose a theme sometimes because it pulls out people who don't normally come. For example, when we had our country theme, that brought out people who had never done jukebox before, and they were really excited, and they really wanted to engage in an event that they felt like they hadn't really engaged with something like this on campus before, and they felt really seen. So that's really the purpose of having both types of events.
Stay up to date on more events just like this one. Be sure to follow SAB on Instagram at MessiahSAB.
SAB hosted a Lego Bingo night in the Union this past Friday. Students joined together for a night of bingo where they competed for various Lego prizes. These sets included Disney, superhero, and more. It was a great night for students to join together and have fun competing for something they will all enjoy, as well as take a break from being an academic weapon.
Tonight at the Union we had Lego Bingo, which is a really fun event where you get to play bingo and win a variety of Lego prizes. This year we had a mix of Marvel, Cars, and various other sets that were really fun for people to engage with.
Stay informed about all future bingos. Keep an eye on your email from SAB.
The African Student Union hosted their annual Karibu night. Danny Johnson has the story.
Karibu Night, Echoes of Home, is one of the most anticipated cultural celebrations. This event showcases the vibrant beauty, music, dance, and traditions of African culture.
really wanted it to feel like home. Usually the theme is always Night in Africa or African Night, etc. But this year we wanted it to be different in the sense that we wanted to remind people or teach people about what home looks like to us. That's why the tables are designed as a typical African household dining table. So that's what we were going for. So yeah.
This was definitely an experience filled with captivating performances, authentic cuisine, and a celebration of unity. Make sure you don't miss any of their future events or for all of the other cultural celebrations coming up here on campus. Reporting for YBTV, I'm Danny Johnson.
Thanks, Danny. That definitely looked like an exciting night of celebration, and we'll be right back with more on Falcon Update after this break.
My name is Natalie Moy. I'm a senior and I'm a digital media major. I feel like the classes here have helped me to train my eye to detect good design. I like how the professors don't force you into one way of thinking. Instead, they allow you to be creative and think of projects in your own way, and they will guide you and help you envision your project to make it even better and stronger. I have this one professor who starts off his classes with prayers, and I feel like that's really great because it starts us off reminding us that we are creating something for God, so we have that in our minds to create something that He will be pleased with. In my portfolio, I have quite a large variety of works. I have design-based works, I have photography, I have videography. One of the big projects I will be expecting in my portfolio would be from the junior-senior film class that I'm taking this semester. I'll be the production designer for this short film, and I'm looking forward to work with my crew because they're all awesome people. Messiah has this media hub called The Pulse, so I've been working for them for the past few months, and you can do stuff like designing, photography, videography, the radio station, and you can even design websites, write articles. I think it's a really great opportunity for me to get my work out there. I'm a designer, so people on campus or even off campus get to see what I do, and I think that's really great. So if you're a digital media student, you could go into computer science fields, or you could go into the film industries or graphic design. I guess it's the beauty of digital media, it's just so versatile.
Welcome back to Falcon Update. I'm Sarah Marshall.
And I'm Libby Zimmerman. Sarah, how are you feeling about the weather right now? The cold, do you like it? Do you not like it?
I can't say I'm a big fan of walking to classes and having my hair whip across my face. I think it makes it that much more cold. I would say I prefer cold weather because I feel like I can fend off against it with more layers rather than it being too warm. But right now I definitely am missing the sun. How about you?
I am an avid cold hater. I want to like it so bad. I think I don't mind the cold, it's the wind. And I think I have a lot of hair. I don't like the wind. I would way rather prefer the heat of summer.
Fair enough. Well, let's see what Danielle Leppert has in the works for this week's Falcon Forecast. Danielle?
Welcome back to this week's Falcon Forecast. I'm Danielle Leppert. Right now we are sitting at a brisk 39 degrees with a high of 46 and a low of 34. It was at a 0% precipitation today and a humidity levels at 67%. Moving on to our Tuesday planner. At 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, it is going to be 31 degrees outside, so it'll be a little bit chilly, so remember to grab your jacket on your way to class tomorrow morning. By 12 o'clock, it'll be 43 degrees with a high of 44 at 3 p.m. with a little bit of cloudy coverage, so you still might want your jacket with the sun not being out. We will end the night at 40 degrees at 9 p.m. At 9 p.m. we will see a little bit of rain going from Tuesday evening into Wednesday morning. And moving on to our surface map. Mechanicsburg is seeing light rain and cloudy conditions. As a weak system moves throughout the mid-Atlantic, temperatures will begin to cool and be more of our seasonal temperatures. And once that high pressure settles in midweek, we can expect drier weather and brighter skies across Mechanicsburg. Now moving on to our temperature map. As of 6 a.m. this morning, Mechanicsburg is really starting to get a lot colder weather than we had last week. So central Pennsylvania was very much starting off in the upper 20s and low to mid 30s. Temperature will gradually warm later on, but this morning is starting off a little bit frosty across much of central Pennsylvania. And moving on to dew points. Dew points give us a clear picture of how the air will feel, and here in Mechanicsburg on Monday morning, it's going to be a little bit drier at the beginning of the week as we're sitting at 21 and 23. We will see a little bit of a jump going into Wednesday at 37. Thursday, we will see another jump at 43. This is where we see our typical fall weather. And Friday will be at 50, which is typical weather, or typical dew points for mid-November. And now we are going to end it with our 7-day forecast. It is going to be quite a chilly week, except we will see a little bit of a spike on Friday and Monday at 58 degrees for our high. And then going off of that, it is going to be a little bit of a rainy week. We will see a little bit of sun peek through on Sunday. So be sure to keep dry this week and keep the rain gear handy and enjoy that brief break of sunshine on Sunday. That is all for this week's Falcon Forecast. Sending it back to the desk.
Thanks, Danielle. Now it's time for this week's campus calendar, and Josiah Rodriguez is back to tell us what's happening on campus this week. Josiah?
Good evening, Messiah University. My name is Josiah Rodriguez, here to deliver this week's campus calendar and to share all the interesting events that you can partake in over the next few days. This Tuesday on the 18th, the Career and Professional Development Center will be hosting a luncheon event from 12 to 1 called Pizza with Professionals with Sight and Sound Theater, providing not only free food but also a ripe opportunity to network with professionals working with the Sight and Sound Company. If you are interested in this time but unable to make it, do not fret. For a second session called Cookies and Conversations will be hosted from 3 to 4 later that day, giving you extra time to connect with these professionals within the industry. Now, have you ever wanted to discover local organizations to explore internship or volunteer options in the area? If so, come on down to the Boyer Atrium this Wednesday from 4 to 5 for the HDFS Community Partners event. There will be a plethora of representatives from different career fields to learn about, all while refreshments will be provided with plenty of fun raffles to enter. Now, do you like Legos? Do you like coloring? Do you like games? If any of the above, I encourage you to check out the upcoming Neurodiversity Fair at the Jordan Klein Atrium, offering all of these options and more as we are able to not only connect with others around us, but also explore the topics of neurodiversity in a familial and enjoyable way. Now, this weekend boasts many great opportunities to enjoy your time. Starting things off, the Arab Student Coalition will be hosting their very own Night of the Arts, a cultural event featuring Arab food, music, artists, and crafts that celebrate the richness of Arab heritage, all while focusing on getting creative and exploring this distinct and beautiful culture. Meanwhile, the HNES Club will be hosting the Falcon Flight Fest this Friday at Hitchcock. But what is a Falcon Flight Fest? Well, to put it simply, it's a competition to see who on campus can jump the highest. You heard it here, folks, a jumping competition. If you think you have what it takes to touch the clouds, head on down to Friday at 8 p.m. for a chance of sky-high glory. Now, we are in the season of fall, and while winter is slowly approaching, it's still worthwhile to truly soak yourself in the crisp feeling that this incredible time has to offer. It's this feeling that leads me to SAB's upcoming Lost film screening, that being the Wes Anderson feature Fantastic Mr. Fox. This is a film that encapsulates the atmosphere of autumn better than any other work almost a century, telling a whimsical caper of crime through some masterful craftsmanship that not only will make for an entertaining watch, but also immerse you in the beauties of the season through the tone and visuals that the movie provides, weaving you in the fall unlike any other piece of media. Finally, this Saturday, we have another celebration of culture on the way, the Caribbean Student Association's Island Vibes. Here, experience the warmth of these tropical islands through delicious dishes and mocktails distinct to these lands. And while some lively trivia and performances will further the event with a great spark, it will allow you to have a welcome time to learn, laugh, and dance as a community. That's a wrap on this week's campus calendar. Heading out, I'm Josiah Rodriguez, sending it back to the desk for the rest of tonight's amazing show here at YBTV.
That's all we have for right now, but stay tuned because Cameron and Ethan are going to bring you the latest on Messiah Sports.
A Bachelor of Science in Engineering at Messiah, you can choose to concentrate in either environmental, computer, electrical, biomedical, civil, or mechanical engineering. You may also choose to not declare a concentration.
Mechanical engineers are intimately involved in designing and building machines that make the stuff that we all use every day. They're also being mentored by professionals that serve as player coaches on their team.
The Collaboratory's business model is that it pairs student teams with either faculty mentors or outside professionals to work on systems that either care for the earth or help disadvantaged people around the world.
Our students leave here with some of the kinds of experience that most people don't get until their first year or two of employment.
Our environmental engineering students at Messiah are working on water distribution system in Vanuatu, water treatment in Nicaragua, aquaponics in West Africa, and then a couple different projects on well drilling, well maintenance, and well monitoring in West Africa.
Biomedical engineering is the combination of human health with the rigor and the desire to solve problems in engineering. We have students from day one on campus get involved in hands-on projects where you take what you learn in the classroom and apply it to real patients.
The collaboratory project that I'm involved with is the Panama Bridge project. It's unique to other projects in that it has a 1-year time frame. So from the time that you travel down to the site to survey data to the time where the bridge is finished being built is 1 year.
I knew that I wanted to come to a Christian college to continue to grow in my faith, and Messiah had a really awesome community experience for me. I love just having the opportunity to have relationships with my professors and stop in their office in the afternoon and just catch up about life.
So to be honest, I didn't quite know that Messiah was the right fit for me until I ended up coming here. Just the faculty and the way that they interact with the students to help them grow is such a powerful thing here.
It's about service and living Christ's leadership through our actions. That's really important, and what I think the Collaboratory does a really good job being intentional about.
Absolutely filthy goal there. Boom goes the dynamite.
Welcome to YBTV Sports on Falcon Update. I'm Cameron Fisher.
And I'm Ethan Gregory. We saw another incredible week here with Messiah Athletics with a multitude of wins and milestones.
Starting off, the men's soccer team had 5 different players awarded all-conference honors for the MAC Commonwealth. Matt Griffin, Patrick Lee, Davis Paget, and Grant Schreiner made the first team, while Davis Rohde made the second team.
Field hockey earned 5 all-conference honors with Aubrey Clark, Ellie Lefevre, and Lillian Peters being named first team, Chelsea Carpenter being named second team, and Joy Lippert with an honorable mention. In addition, Lillian Peters was named Defensive Player of the Year after her stellar defensive game this past season.
That's awesome. And for women's soccer, Talia Loy was named the MAC Commonwealth Defensive Player of the Year, and the team overall earned 9 all-MAC Commonwealth honors. Hannah Adair, Bailey Dahl, Brittany Laird, Ella Lentcoop, Mia Libby, and Talia Lloyd all earned first-team honors, and Addie Martin, Ava Wirt, and Elena Williams all earned a spot on the second team.
2 more players were added to that list later in the week as Dalton Monger was named MAC Wrestler of the Week after a 5-0 performance, leading him to a title at the Rasic Rumble. And Liv Monturo, of course, who else? Liv Monturo was named the MAC Commonwealth Women's Basketball Player of the Week after leading the women's basketball team to a win at the Messiah Tip-Off Tournament and being named Tournament MVP following 58 points and 19 rebounds across both games.
That's crazy, and we have a little bit more on her coming up shortly, but men's cross country claims 5th at the NCAA Division III Mid-Atlantic Regional on Saturday, November 15th. Luca Feder led the Falcons with a 17th place finish in the field of 218 runners. Women's cross country also wrapped up their season with an 8th place finish in the regional championships, with Ella Swain leading the Falcons with an 18th place finish in a field of 207 runners.
A lot of exciting things happening for our Falcons, and now let's take a look at the rest of the action from this week in the latest edition of the Falcon 4.
Our first highlight comes on the road with women's volleyball taking on the Mustangs in the MAC Commonwealth semifinal. The Falcons would be held at set point for 2 volleys, but Sydney Wolf had an answer to that with this game-ending kill. We take a look at it here as Rachel Lenz serves it over the net. Marzolino passes it up to Dell, beautifully set to Sydney Wolf to end the game. We look at it again here. Beautiful back set by Cassidy Dell for a hammer down Broadway by Sydney Wolf. Mackenzie Adams led the way with 14 kills, Wolf tallying 12. Cassidy Dell put up an impressive 39 assists, but would unfortunately see their season come to an end in 4 sets against Stevenson. Congratulations to the women's volleyball team on another successful season.
Playoff soccer is back. Messiah men's soccer headed to Geneva, New York on Friday to take on the 16th ranked and undefeated Statesmen of Hobart College in the first round of the NCAA tournament. This was the very first game of the tournament as it was played on Friday at 11 a.m. We'll go ahead and take a look at a highlight from overtime. Overtime 0-0 is the score. Davis Paget all the way outside. Sam Phillips with a little bit of a dummy. Patrick Lee collects it. He's got one defender, takes him on. Left-footed shot, back post, and the Falcons win it. In OT, Patrick Lee takes his shirt off. The Falcons go crazy. We'll watch it one more time. A nice dummy there from Phillips. Lee picks his head up. He's only got one defender to beat. Slots it at a near impossible angle, and the Falcons go dancing into the round of 32. They escaped the first trap snare thanks to a goal from senior Patrick Lee and an assist from senior Davis Paget. After taking down Hobart, the Falcons dominated the Calvin Knights on Saturday afternoon in a decisive 3-0 win. The men's soccer team will be back in action this weekend in the Sweet 16 as they take on top-seeded Tufts in Boston.
Congratulations to you on that win, Ethan. And our third highlight takes us inside Hitchcock Arena, where the Lady Falcons would take on the Pacers of Marywood in the first game of the tip-off tournament. Great defense leads to great offense as Liv Montero, you said it earlier, who else, capitalizes off of a beautiful cross-court pass from Charlotte Milanese. Let's take a look. Here we see the rebound I was talking about by Montero over to Emmy Faith Wood. Cross-court pass to Charlotte Milanese, finds Montero in the slot and buries it for the basket. Here we go again as Milanese finds Montero in the slot and capitalizes off that one. The Falcons would go on and take Game 1 of the tip-off tournament decisively, 81-48. Liv Montero wouldn't stop with just that tally as she tacked on 27 more points on the evening. Messiah would go on and sweep the tip-off tournament and earn a dominant win at Penn State Harrisburg this past Saturday, and the Falcons will be back in action against Elizabethtown next Tuesday in Hitchcock Arena at 7 p.m.
She is a baller, Liv Montero. The Messiah women's soccer team were also in action in the NCAA tournament as they picked up a win in the first round on Saturday against Southern Maine. We'll take a look at a highlight from Sunday's second round matchup when the Falcons took on the Mastodons of Amherst College. Let's go ahead and take a look. This comes from the first half, 0-0 is the score. Ava Wirt just takes a beautiful goal kick. Addie Martin lays out for it, and here comes the Falcons down the right flank. We've got Addie Martin right here with a slip pass to Hannah Dare, one-touch finish into the bottom right corner. Keeper had no chance. It was so windy that the ball kind of just went all over the place. We'll look at it again. Addie Martin with the assist, Hannah Adair with the goal. That would be the only goal of the match as the Falcons would take on the win. They'll continue dancing as they take on the 23rd ranked Calvin Knights on Friday. Actually, at Messiah at 1 p.m. They had a little bit of trouble. They didn't know where they were going to be headed because they're in a group with Augsburg and Washington U. So they actually get the pleasure of hosting, which will be awesome for the Lady Falcons.
Yeah, and it's so cool getting to see playoff soccer here at Messiah, and with a neutral game being held at 11:30, I believe, or 11 on Friday. Yeah.
I believe that's Augsburg and Washington University. So
yes, it is.
Yeah, that'll be pretty awesome to see.
And what a dominant week for the Falcons as all of our fall sports are headed into the postseason and look to once again become MAC champions.
You are absolutely right, Cameron. We've seen amazing things from our Falcons this past fall season, and I know I'm looking forward to the postseason continuing strong as well as the start of the winter season for a lot of our winter Falcons.
Basketball season is in full swing as both the women's and men's teams hosted their tip-off tournaments, with women's basketball winning the championship game over Nazareth in an 87-8 point thriller. Libby Zimmerman had the opportunity to cover the buzz of the tournament. Let's check it out.
245 days since the Falcons last hit the court and 251 since they last played at home. Wow. As they're looking to take on another big run this season. Season and a lot of big things coming up. Both men's and women's soccer are continuing their journey this weekend in the Sweet 16 of the Division III NCAA tournament.
And we want to wish men's soccer and you, Ethan, accompanied by our own, well, there it is in the script, as well as women's soccer, the best of luck as they pursue victory this coming weekend.
Cameron, thank you very much. I appreciate the kind words. And thank you all here at YBTV. But that's it for sports tonight. Don't go anywhere. Mr. Charlie Jones is hosting YB Tonight after this.
Good evening, friends, and welcome to another episode of YB Tonight. I'm your host, Charlie Jones, and tonight we welcome three very special guests. Head of the History Department, Dr. Devin Manzullo-Thomas, Faith Murray, and Ian Roberts to our show. I will be sitting down and getting to know a little bit about them during our time together. We'll be right back after this.
Hungry for more? Well, grab your Rocky Road ice cream, because you're in for a fantastic time.
Are you seriously watching a movie right now?
Yeah, I had a long day. I'm trying to relax.
Look, tonight is Halloween. We should be celebrating.
Nah, bro, I'm good.
Listen, they're having this huge grand opening at a juke joint later tonight, all right? There's gonna be girls, dancing, music. It's gonna be amazing. We should go.
You know, maybe any other night, but, like, I'm exhausted today, so I'll pass.
All right, I'm gonna go on my own. You're missing out, home stud.
Dude, what happened to you?
What are you talking about?
What do you mean? You've been gone since Halloween, you're covered in blood, and you're doing what is this, a jig?
Well, it's, yeah, an Irish jig. It's multiculturalism. Can I come in?
You live here.
Well, you know, I don't want to be rude. I like to, you know, ask first.
Dude, are you a vampire?
What? No, of course not. I'm a dude, man. What are you talking about?
Why are there bite marks on your neck?
What? No, this is a mosquito bite.
Like a mosquito that big?
Yeah, they're big this time of year.
Then what's with the blood?
Oh, you're hilarious, my good sir. This isn't blood. This is some spilled wine.
So you've been drinking underage?
How dare you accuse me of drinking underage?
So being an alcoholic is worse than being a vampire?
People die of being an alcoholic every day, man.
Okay, and people die getting eaten by vampires, so what's your point?
We don't eat the people, we simply drink their blood.
So you are a vampire?
No, I'm not a vampire. I just know the lore. Come on, let me in.
So this doesn't bother you?
There's a plant. Why would a plant?
And this doesn't bother you?
We're at Messiah University. Why would a cross? Oh!
And if I had one of these?
Where are you getting this stuff?
Answer my question.
No, answer mine. Forget being a vampire. This is a hoarding obsession.
Dude, just admit it, you're a vampire.
Fine, I'm a vampire. Can you let me in?
No. Fine, you can come on in.
Good evening, friends, and welcome to another episode of YB Tonight. I'm your host, Charlie Jones. Dr. Devin Manzullo-Thomas. Devin, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing well, Charlie. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. Can't complain. Man, it is such an honor to have you here. So, little bit of an introduction. You're the co-chair of the history department here at Messiah. Is that correct?
I'm in the religious studies department.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Yep.
Excuse me.
No.
And you're also a published author, with your latest work being Storyteller. It's about the life and ministry of E. Morris Snyder. So could you tell me a bit about what inspired you to write this book?
Yeah, so the book is a biography of Dr. Snyder, who was a faculty member here at Messiah for a number of years. He taught history and English literature from 1963 to 2000. He was also our university archivist for a lot of his career. And, the part of his career was also writing the history of the Brethren in Christ Church, which was the denomination that founded Messiah back in 1909. So the kind of impulse for me to write this book was actually an invitation from that denomination's historical society. They invited me to write this biography. And I accepted in part because Dr. Snyder was one of my faculty mentors when I was a student here. So he had retired by the time I was a student, but came back and adjuncted a few classes, and I got to take one with him and was really inspired by his work. And yeah, he became a kind of mentor for me through the years. So couldn't turn down that invitation when the Historical Society asked me to take on the project.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So you already had like a pre-established, relationship.
Yeah, that's right.
With Dr. Snyder. So what was it like getting to work with him again and kind of instead, having that relationship dynamic flip where now you're kind of taking the lead here and get more about him.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting for sure. You know, I'd gotten to know him a little bit over the years just through that mentoring relationship. He wrote or edited over 30 books in his career. A lot of them were biographies, and so to kind of write a biography of someone who had written many biographies was definitely a unique challenge, but one that was, like I said, really meaningful for me as someone who, you know, had spoken into my life and my career in some significant ways.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, were there any challenges you encountered while writing this book, or any aspects that you felt that you were surprised by in learning about Dr. Sider's life?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you write history, right, it takes a lot of work to go through the materials that you use to reconstruct the past, right? So in Dr. Sider's case, he maintained a journal from 1979 to 2024. So I had all of those years to work through in my research. Like I said, he wrote or edited a number of books, so, you know, rereading or reading some of those. And then, you know, all of the materials, the correspondence, the reports, the other writings that he produced over the years, all of those are preserved in our archives, and all of those were resources, materials that I drew on in my research. So just going through all of that material, reading it and taking notes, and then trying to piece together the narrative, I would say that was a pretty big challenge. It's a challenge that we historians really like. So yeah, very exciting, very fun in that regard, but definitely challenging. I worked for, you know, a lot of years to do that research.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, how long, with 45 years worth of notes, that's quite a lot. So yeah, how long did that whole process take?
Yeah, so I was invited to take on this project in 2016. And so I worked off and on this project in that, you know, basically 10-year period. There were times when I was working on it, there were times when I was working on other projects, but yeah, definitely something that's taken up a lot of time over the years in my research.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Now, in your book, you talk about how Dr. Sider was not just a historian, but also a storyteller.
Yeah.
Has his sort of, how should I say, method, right, of presenting history, has that affected the way you approach history or how you teach it?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I would say part of what I think is interesting about history is the way that it can help us to see our world in different ways, right? And storytelling obviously is a big part of that. The way that we can understand the past through you know, the lives of people, the narratives that that are shaped by people who tell the past, right? That kind of storytelling I think is really powerful. I think really speaks to readers, and you know, in my classes certainly speaks to students too, when I can help them to understand how things happened in the past by telling a story, right? I think that's a lot more effective and a lot more memorable, and often a lot more impactful than, you know, just dates and names and those kind of dry facts.
Yeah, absolutely. So earlier you talked about how Dr. Sider taught here. He worked in the archives as well, which I can't help but notice you also teach here and work in the archives.
Yeah.
And you both work in a very similar field. So I guess my question is, do you hope to have a book written about you someday?
I don't know, that would be a very interesting book. Yeah, would pity whoever gets asked to write that biography. But, you know, writing about Dr. Sider's life was really interesting, and, you know, I think there are, yeah, lots of ways that people can learn about the past, and so stories like this are one of them. So, you know, the more biographies we have, I think the richer our understanding of the past is. I don't know that my biography would say much about the past, though. Yeah.
Gotcha. I mean, hey, you know, I think you know, you're being a little too humble here. Yeah, I'm sure you've got an interesting story to tell, as I believe everyone does.
Fair enough.
But this was a very long writing process for you, and I think the length of time it takes to write a book is something that often scares away a lot of would-be aspiring authors. So what would be your word of advice or your pitch to them to get them to begin that process and take that first step?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you want to write enough, if you feel passionately enough about the story or the project that you've been inspired to pursue, I think that's a kind of intrinsic motivation, right, to write. I will say I love the writing process. I love the challenge of trying to figure out, how do you move through an argument, or how do you move through, in this case, like the story of a person's life. It's kind of like a puzzle piece, right, to try and figure out how all of these different records of the past can kind of be cobbled together to tell a really interesting story. So I guess if you like, the puzzle, the challenge of trying to figure all of that out as part of your writing process, then that might be something that could appeal to would-be writers.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, as we're getting to the end of our time here, I have one more question for you, a bit of a personal question. Okay. Would you mind signing my copy of your book?
Absolutely, Charlie.
Got a pen here for you.
Awesome.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's not often I get to sit down with a published author.
You're very kind. Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
And thank you for watching. It has been such a pleasure getting to talk with you, Dr. Thomas. And make sure you stick around, because when we come back, we will have Faith Murray and Ian Roberts to sit down and talk about Chinese Club. Stay tuned.
My name is Macy Thornton. I'm a senior and I'm a public relations major. I was initially drawn to the public relations major because I've always been great with people, and the skills are very transferable. One thing that's definitely unique to Messiah is that they teach from a Christian perspective, and I've been able to use that in internships and those types of opportunities. The professors are great, they're very approachable, and they genuinely want to see you succeed. I'm involved in athletics in that I'm on the Messiah women's basketball team, and it's been one of the most enriching experiences of my life. I'm in a class called Senior PR Campaign, and we're working for an actual nonprofit organization off campus, so we're helping them with some PR related things, and it's just really great to actually put theory into practice and to feel like you're making a difference even though you're still in school. And I also had the opportunity to do an internship with a minor league baseball team. PR practitioners have to conduct themselves ethically. They have to have integrity. They have to be honest and transparent with the people they work with. So ethics is a big part of public relations. I believe Christian PR practitioners are called to hold themselves to a higher standard because of their beliefs, and that should show in their professional life. I feel very prepared with regard to the experiences I've had, the internship opportunities I've had, and the knowledge I have that the PR major has given me and the skills I've attained through it.
Welcome back, friends. I am here with Faith Murray and Ian Roberts. How are you two doing tonight?
Doing all right.
Well.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. So great to have you here. Let's jump right into this. Now, Chinese Club. Could you tell me, what are your roles in Chinese Club?
You want to go first? You want to take it?
Sure. I'm Faith Murray. I'm the president of Chinese Club. I hate saying that because it sounds very I don't really do anything president-y sounding, but I was one of the 5 of us that founded it, so I took on the role.
And I'm Chinese Club's first year liaison.
Gotcha. So, what does the day-to-day look like within your roles?
A lot of filling up any paperwork that SAV or SGA, not SAV, SGA sends us, planning events, holding meetings, running meetings. I do a lot of the planning because everyone else on the cabinet is very busy all the time. But I'll just say, hey guys, we're having this event at this time, and everyone will show up, and it's a good time.
Yeah, Faith does a lot of really good work with organizing events and trying to get the ball rolling. So, I mean, as the first year liaison, my primary duty is to talk to first year students who are maybe looking for ways to connect on campus, especially to our club, Chinese Club, with learning Chinese culture and Chinese language. So recently, I just had the opportunity to speak to a couple of different of the lower level Chinese language classes and tell them about like what I do and some of my experiences with studying Chinese.
That's very cool. So what other sort of events do you do to raise awareness for the club?
So recently, I think one of my favorite ones that we did was the karaoke night. So we kind of incorporated some of the karaoke is very common in just like in East Asia in general, but very popular in China, Taiwan, and so we had a karaoke night, which was like very successful. It's hard for like a smaller club to like really get a lot of traction, so it was a memorable night just because I remember we were just like a little bit worried about how many people were going to show up, but we had just like this constant flow of people, and it was a great time. I got to sing a Chinese song, so that was it was quite fun.
Man, that's so awesome. Like, I love hearing a song sung in another language. It's just such a, it's such a great experience. It's also like learning a song in another language is difficult, very rewarding though.
Yeah.
So I very much commend your effort.
A lot of trial and error.
Yeah, exactly, right. You got to get the pronunciation and the timing and the pitch and all that, yada. It's a lot. But moving on, how do you incorporate your faith into Chinese Club?
Do you want to take this first? Or?
Sure. One way specifically that I can think of is that we've been partnering a lot with China Outreach Ministries. They're actually just kind of right down the road, but I met their outreach director, Jesse, when we were at the Messiah Career Expo, and none of the other tables seemed interesting, so I was like, you know what, I'm Chinese Club president, just newly become, let me just go talk to them, and we talked for like an hour, and he was telling me about all the wonderful things that they do over there, and the importance of how we've got all of these Chinese students coming into universities like our university, and that since it's so hard to send missionaries over to China, we've got them coming here. It's the perfect opportunity to share your faith with communities or a whole country that it's kind of outlawed there, and that there's no spreading of the gospel. So to start it here and have a connection where people who aren't Chinese or don't even have Chinese friends, Chinese family members can grow in a group of people who love the Chinese culture, just gets the gospel spread anyway. If there will always be a way for the gospel to be spread, even if the country, even if it's outlawed, there's always going to be a way.
Absolutely, amen to that. So what is your overall like ideal version of an end goal for Chinese Club? Where do you hope to leave it when you graduate from Messiah?
Oh, this makes me sad thinking about it, but
Yeah.
I mean, Ian's going to be probably one of our first
Yeah,
graduates.
I'll be one of the first people of Chinese Club's cabinet to graduate, but I think I have a couple goals in mind. As a learner of the Chinese language, I've been learning for about 3.5 years now, so I kind of know the things that I really wish that I had when I was maybe first studying here at Messiah or just first studying Chinese the language. So I really want to bring back something that we had earlier called Chinese Corner. So I want to provide a space for people who are interested in learning the language, and for people to have a space to practice. And now that I've been abroad and had some experience with speaking the language, I can give back to the students who work hard here, and hopefully inspire people to keep learning the language.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
Messiah is the only current Christian university that has a Chinese major program, so I think that Chinese Club's purpose at Messiah is to keep that running and see that it doesn't die down. Like a lot of other colleges that had it have lost it because there was not enough interest, so to keep that interest up, to keep the programs running, to keep people educated or just learning the Chinese language in America, I think is really important.
Absolutely. It's so important to have clubs and systems in place in order to keep the tradition, the diversity on campus alive, and leave that an option for future students. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. It has been an absolute pleasure. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have for this week, but be sure to tune in next week for another edition of YB Tonight. I'm Charles Jones saying good night from Grantham.